What is up? It's your boy Jermaine Event, Main on MMA. Ladies and gents, today we are going to talk about my boy Colby Covington. Well, in not the best light for me, this video comes from the channel TJLovesFights, and it's about the quiet downfall of a UFC loudmouth. All right? And as you guys know, I rocks with Colby, but let's check this out.
This looks like the end for Colby Covington. Looks like we're finally here. The true end to Colby, the end to his undeserving title shots, and what looks like the end to his career in the limelight in general. Last week, Colby got the break speed off of him by Walker Buckley, who has just got his biggest win to date and extended his 6-fight win streak, looking like a new problem for the welterweight division. As for Colby, the longtime welterweight staple looks to have basically signed his retirement.
Revisionist history is crazy. That fight was not a domination. That cut was bad. All right.
With a subpar performance, and is probably going to have a few fights with older fighters before he completely signs off. So of course in today's video, let's look at Colby Covington's career over the years. Let's look at how good he actually was and what led to such a quiet downfall to one of the loudest mouths in UFC history. I would imagine most fans know of the rise of Colby Covington and how he got his stardom, as there are many great videos out there explaining it, but those new to the sport, I'll briefly explain. Colby was a great collegiate wrestler, and fun fact, was the roommate of John Jones at Iowa Central Community College. This wrestling base would transfer over well into the UFC in terms of effectiveness, but didn't bode too well with fans, as it was mostly chain wrestling, lots of control time, not a lot of striking, and as a result, not a lot of finishes. Though he was winning, Colby wasn't building an audience or hype around him. And as the story goes, after Colby's win over Kim Dong-Hyun, they were going to cut Colby from the roster despite him being 7-1 in the UFC because his style was boring. So after his next fight and win over Demian Maia, everything would change.
Knocked him out! Brazil, you're a dog! All you filthy animals suck!
After his biggest win to date in Maia's home crowd, he would call out Brazil and went from a relatively quiet fighter to one of the most loud and obnoxious fighters, willfully playing heel. Dana hasn't actually corroborated Colby's story, but if true, Colby's transition to heel worked extremely well, as he would obviously stay in the UFC, go on to fight Rafael dos Anjos, and then former welterweight champion Robbie.
Is that win not still solid today? Like the RDA win? I feel like that aged great. I feel like that win aged great.
Lawler, capping off a 7-fight win streak en route to an undisputed.
In the time that win is impressive. Damn, he did that in Chicago. I could have been there for that, but I wasn't a diehard back then. Was it June 2008? I was starting to become a diehard around that time. I was starting to become a diehard.
Belt. But let's pause here for a quick second. So this is probably peak Colby. Super loudmouth, in the limelight, peak heel personality, ability, and career. Again, riding a 7-fight win streak with big name wins over former champions in Robbie Lawler and Rafael dos Anjos, and a great win over legend Demian Maia. But let's take a closer look into peak Colby. These were big names, but how old were they when they fought Colby Covington? Demian Maia was damn near 40 years old when he fought Colby. Rafael dos Anjos was 33 when he fought
33.
Colby. Finally,
is that bad? What are you talking about? That's like prime. What are you talking about?
Robbie Lawler was 37 when he fought Colby. While during these 3 fights, Colby was in his prime at 31. We've seen that...
No. Colby was 30 when he... he was 3 years younger than Dos Anjos. And if he wants to say 31, he was 2 years younger than Dos Anjos. I don't even understand why he's using that in this argument.
33 seems to be the drop-off in terms of performance, and 2 of the 3 biggest wins in his career thus far were well above that age, with Rafael dos Anjos starting that drop-off with Colby. So sure, these were great wins, but none of these big names were nearly in their prime. So what happened?
Man, hold on a second. I'm about to shut this whole shit off. Hold on. Hold on. He stopped it. Hold on a second here. This is silly here, all right? I had to pause it and check because he just stopped it right there. Clearly, I could see that green. And he's like, Dos Anjos clearly started his fall off right here. As if this is the end of Dos Anjos' career. But he beat Paul Felder. That's a great win, in my opinion. I fucks with Paul Felder. Moicano, That was like Moicano at like 168 or something. It was a random late minute fight. So he's on a 2-fight win streak right there. 2-fight win streak. Went back to then he fight Fiziev. Got knocked out in the 5th round in a back and forth fight. All right. That was a great fight. Go back and watch that fight. This guy, his argument here, like, I don't think the decline was all the way back in like 4 years ago when he's still getting wins. He's still having good fights. What are we talking about here? I don't even know if we can. Let's try to get through this video. That's crazy to me.
Just starting that drop off with Colby. So sure, these were great wins, but none of these big names were nearly in their prime. So what happened when Colby faced top welterweight competition in their prime age? Colby would of course be introduced to the top with the first Kamaru-Usman fight. And you know what? Say what you want about Colby now, but he did show out in this fight. I remember everyone thinking this was going to be a boring decision because both guys had a reputation of having a very wrestling heavy approach to most of their fights that usually led to a decision, but not this one. These two wrestlers decided to say, fuck it, let's just box and go to war the entire fight, and it made for personally one of my favorite fights ever, probably top 15 for me. Colby with his amazing cardio would press the action and actually look like he hurt Kamaru a couple times, to where it even looked like Kamaru had to fake a nut shot to get rest. I'm not saying Colby would have won this fight had it gone to decision, but he did take a couple rounds from Usman, and me personally, I had it tied into the 5th. But whatever success Colby had in this fight would be washed away as Kamaru would pull away with the boxing, find a giant right hand late in this fight that would drop Colby, and then another to send him to the floor again to finish him by punches. You know, despite Colby getting finished, he showed insane heart and even got his jaw broken in the middle of the fight and continued to fight extremely competitively. This is definitely peak Colby Covington, and probably the last time the UFC fan base as a whole had pretty good respect for him. Colby would bounce back with a win over former champion Tyron Woodley, and it was classic Colby. Relentless pressure, non-stop boxing and takedowns, and look fresh even after the fight. He did get the finish in a weird way. Tyron got taken down and started screaming about his rib as it got broken, so not necessarily a highlight finish, but a good performance and a finish nonetheless, and it wouldn't be classic Colby if his opponent wasn't 38 years old. This would lead to another title shot and another chance for Colby to win over Kamaru. But of course, he ran into peak Kamaru. By this time, Kamaru had ran through Jorge Masvidal twice brutally in the second and took out Gilbert Burns in the process as well, showing that he has well surpassed Colby from the first time they fought. But still, Colby showed signs of great boxing and even looked like he wobbled Kamaru at the end of the 4th, making this fight not necessarily a war like the first, but pretty competitive nonetheless. Colby would fight in the next year and make the grudge match with his friend turned foe, Jorge Masvidal, and though he won every round, I'm going to be honest, I don't think we remember much from this fight. All I remember is Jorge dropping.
Great night there. All you remember is that one good moment for Jorge. You don't remember Colby beating the shit out of this dude the whole fight. Get out of here. Fuck out of here.
Colby saying he took a knee for first responders, which is hilarious. But again, Jorge was 37 when this happened. Colby would then lay dormant.
Colby was 37, or Jorge was 37 when this happened. This nigga's a clown. Mind you, Colby's 34. He's not mentioned. He's talking. He's saying this shit as if Colby had stayed 30 this entire time. Colby's 34. There's a 3-year age difference here. What the fuck are we talking about?
Colby would then lay dormant until Leon became champion, and now with Kamaru out of the way, Colby shit-talked himself back into title contention and showed absolutely nothing. First of all, he tried being heel as usual and fucked up on his now infamous 7th layer of hairline, and in the actual fight, he didn't show much. Sure, he did release x-rays later that showed he broke his foot in the first 30 seconds of the fight, so if that's really the case, it was really on Leon for why this fight was so boring, but still, it was another tough break for Colby, who suffered his 3rd loss in a chance for the undisputed title. And if it isn't blatantly obvious already, this has been the career cycle of Colby ever since the first Kamaru fight.
It's not. It's obvious that you're a hater. And you're trying to paint a fucking narrative.
Colby,
but it's not obvious, these points you're making, when you fucking are cherry picking fucking points to make your argument. Tell the story. Tell the real story.
Loses a title fight, waits a year, gets an easy win over someone really old, shit talks his way back to a title shot, and a very undeserving title shot at that. After Colby lost his first fight with Kamaru and got a win over a washed Tyron, he had this tirade, got another title shot against Kamaru before Leon, who was on a monster 10-0 loss streak and was way more deserving of the title when Colby got his second. After Colby beat a washed Jorge, he pulled the same shit by waiting a year and a half and shit-talking his way back to a title shot with Leon. All the while, Bilal was similar to Leon before on a 10-0 loss streak. And I think with Colby turning down a fight with Shavkat and ducking that monster, he hoped to start the cycle again with a win over Joaquin Buckley. But unfortunately for Colby, Joaquin isn't 40 years old and is on the rise, not the decline, and it really showed. And just like that, on a fight night card,
this sounds crazy. Colby's 36, 35, 36? You don't mention that. Fortunately for Buckley, Colby's 36. Like, this is a clown.
Colby got his ass beat and has seemingly fallen out of title contention.
That doesn't mean anything now.
So of course the next
Colby's
question
older.
is, how will Colby be remembered? Honestly, I don't think UFC history is going to remember him all too
Your
much.
arguments,
Looking
bro.
at his resume, it isn't as good as I thought before making this video. I always thought Colby was the elite of the elite in the welterweight division, had a pretty good resume, and someone who was always in title contention, but looking back, his resume isn't all too great. Sure, he had 3 title shots, and in one of them looked really, really good.
Yeah, I guess on
besides
paper.
that, a lot of his biggest wins were against guys that were way past his prime, and he always lost bad when facing prime competition.
This is a terrible
and I think
argument.
resume-wise, Colby is going to be mostly remembered for his competitive fights with Kamaru Usman, but if your resume is mostly being remembered for your competitive...
I apologize, ladies and gents. I thought he was going to come with some better information.
losses, and you didn't have that many highlight finishes, I don't think that's a resume that's going to be remembered all too much. And though everyone knows who Colby is, he never stuck with the UFC fan base like a true star because of how infrequent he would fight. Instead of anticipated returns like other stars who take long.
Hold on. We gotta go back. Because it sounds like he's on some nonsense. Oh my God. He fought Usman November 2021 and then fought Jorge in March and then was battered, had a concussion when Jorge ran up on him and sucker punched him. All right. Full force sucker punched him. And he was out for a year. Y'all are crazy, man. Y'all are crazy. And he fought as soon as he could. Y'all are crazy.
Instead of anticipated returns like other stars who take long layoffs, most people were like, oh shit, Colby's fighting, when Colby came back. And as for personality, as much as Colby is loud and the heel, I don't think he's going to be...
Who are these people? Speak for yourself. This is crazy. This is as nuts to me when people are like, oh, I thought it was going to be a split decision. Oh, you thought one judge was going to score for the one fighter and 2 judges were going to score for the other fighter? That's what you thought was going to happen, you fucking psychopath? That's so dumb. Why don't you pick from your perspective, not try to decide from 3 random perspectives and your own? Like, I see people saying, like, I think this person won, and I think they're going to win by split decision. So for 4, he's taking it from 4 different perspectives. I'm going to score it this way. These 2 judges are going to score it this way, but that one won't. But that guy won't. I can see it. That's fucking nuts. All right? Nuts.
A personality fans are going to remember for a very long time. He never really had natural charisma and was trying to be more edgy than a natural shit talker. Chael Sonnen fans are going to remember for a very long time. He never really had natural charisma and was trying to be more edgy than a natural shit talker. Chael Sonnen is someone I think has had a similar career to Colby, was primarily a wrestler and was close to getting the belt but never got over the hump. But his shit talk and charisma was so natural, and there's so many moments fans will always remember from Chael. Colby, on the other hand, just tried too hard, and fans always hate that. Look, you can be the biggest shit talker or not talk at all, but it seems like fans appreciate genuinity, and Colby was far from that. So of course, what do you guys think about Colby Covington's career at this point? Will he ever get back to title contention? Probably not. But will he ever get back to competitive welterweight fights towards the top? Also,
what clown shit, bro? Yo, that video was absolute clown shit. No facts. Nigga was just jumping to conclusions, my nigga. Just jumping to conclusions, fucking cherry picking little clips of certain shit, saying like, oh, in this fight, blah, blah, we clearly saw, like, nigga, what are you talking about? And then y'all are just omitting the fact that homeboy was battered. He was dealing with a concussion from a fucking crime that was committed against him, and he fought as soon as he could. He was out for a year after being attacked at the steakhouse. And you guys are like, nope, he should have just been back. He's a fighter. He should have just been back. Like, no, he was hurt. He wasn't in the cage. He wasn't prepared to fight. He was chilling. He was hanging out with some people. You know what I'm saying? And someone ran up on him, another pro fighter, and just struck this nigga full force. He had a concussion. This is clown shit. All right. This video is clown shit. I thought like people would just like be like, oh, this happened, blah, blah, but like, I feel like there's enough, if you wanted to say this is the decline of Colby, you could just use actual facts rather than just like making up a narrative to try to give that point, if that's the point you want to make. But I felt like that video was clown shit. Let me know what you guys think. Did you guys fuck with what that guy had to say, what TJLovesFights had to say in that video? Personally, I felt like it was clown shit. Let me know if you agree. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for being here. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, and I will see you when I see you. I'll holla.